Hi guys, welcome back. Today we are going to learn to divide integers and decimals. We've got 4 success criteria, and the first one is to understand the basics of division. So other ways you might know the word divide are shared by, goes into, or quotient. They all mean divide. So you need to make sure that you understand the different ways to use your times tables. So if we know that 3 times 4 is 12, what other number sentences can you write from this? So we can write 4 times 3 is 12. We can write 12 divided by 3 is 4. Or we can write 12 divided by 4 is 3. So here's a question for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to see what you should have done, press play. So what other number sentences can you write from this? Well, if we know that 5 times 3 is 15, we also know that 3 times 5 is 15, that 15 divided by 3 is 5, and that 15 divided by 5 is 3. Here's another question for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to see what you should have done, press play. So what other number sentences can we write from this? Well, if we know 10 times 4 is 40, we also know that 4 times 10 is 40, 40 divided by 4 is 10, and 40 divided by 10 is 4. And now we've completed success criteria 1. So now we're going to move on to number 2, and this is to use a method of long division for integers. So if we want to calculate 124 divided by 4, we need to use what we call the bus stop method, which looks like this. We put 4 on the outside because we're dividing by 4, and 124 goes underneath the bus stop. Now we can say how many 4's go into 1. Well, that's 0 because 4 doesn't go into 1, so we carry the 1. Then how many 4's go into 12? Well, 4 goes into 12 3 times, exactly. Then how many 4's go into 4? Well, 4 goes into 4 once, exactly. So our answer is 31. Here's a question for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to see what you should have done, press play. So we want to work out 685 divided by 5. So we use a bus stop method. 5 into 6 goes once with 1 remainder. 5 into 18 goes 3 times but with 3 remainder. And 5 goes into 35 7 times exactly. So our answer is 137. Here are some questions for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to mark your work, press play. Here are your answers. So there's your green answers. There's your amber answers. And there's your red answers. The greens made octopus. the ambers made dolphin, and the reds made lobster. This time we want to calculate 96 divided by 5. So again, we use a bus stop method with 5 on the outside and 96 on the inside. 5 into 9 goes once with 4 remainder, and 5 into 46 goes 9 times but with a remainder of 1. So when we've got a remainder, we put a decimal point and then a 0, and we put a decimal point above the decimal point on the bottom. Now we've got a remainder of 1, so we carry that 1 onto the 0. 5 goes into 10 twice. So our answer is 19.2. Here's a question for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're in to see what you should have done, press play. So this time we want to do 975 divided by 4. So we use a bus stop method with 4 on the outside and 975 on the inside. 4 goes into 9 twice with 1 remainder. 4 goes into 17 4 times with 1 remainder. And 4 goes into 15 3 times with 3 remainder. So we put a decimal point and a 0 on the bottom and a decimal point on top. Now we've still got a remainder of 3, so we put 3 onto the 0, and that's now 30. So 4 goes into 30 7 times with 2 remainder, so we put another 0 down and carry the remainder of 2. And 4 goes into 20 5 times. So our answer is 243.75. Remember to keep adding zeros until there are no more remainders. Here's another example. This time we want to do 407 divided by 3. So we use a bus stop. 3 into 4 goes once with 1 remainder. 3 into 10 goes 3 times with 1 remainder. 3 into 17 goes 5 times but with 2 remainder. So we put a decimal point and a 0 underneath and a decimal point on top. We've got a remainder of 2, so we carry the 2 onto the 0. 3 goes into 20 6 times, but again with 2 remainder, so we put another 0 down and carry the 2. And 3 goes into 20 again 6 times and again with 2 remainder. Now because this is going to go on forever, we say the 6 is recurring, so we put a dot above the 6 to show that it goes on forever. So our answer is 135.6 recurring. Here are some questions for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to mark your work, press play. Here are your answers. So there's your green answers. There's your amber answers. And there's your red answers. For this question, we want to do 7.5 divided by 5. So we do a bus stop. 5 on the outside and 7.5 on the inside. 5 into 7 goes once with 2 remainder, so we carry the 2. And 5 goes into 25 5 times. Now we need to remember to put our decimal point in the correct place, and it needs to go straight above our decimal point on the bottom, so it needs to go here. So our answer is 1.5. This time we want to do 1.7 divided by 4. So we do a bus stop method with 4 on the outside. 4 into 1 doesn't go, so we put a 0 down and carry the 1. We need to make sure we put our decimal point above our decimal point on the bottom. 4 into 17 goes 4 times with 1 remainder, so we need to put another 0 down and carry the 1. 4 into 10 goes twice with 2 remainder, so we put another 0 down and carry the 2. And 4 into 20 goes 5 times exactly. So our answer is 0.425. Remember to keep adding zeros until there are no more remainders left. Here are some questions for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to mark your work, press play. Here are your answers. So there's your green answers. There's your amber answers. There's your red answers. And there's your purple answers. The greens made bird. The ambers made trees. The reds made flowers. And the purples made squirrel. And now we've completed success criteria 2. So now we're going to move on to number 3, and this is to use a method of long division to divide by a decimal. So here we want to do 7 divided by 0.5. Now when we divide by a decimal, we need to make that decimal a whole number. So we need to think, what can I times 0.5 by to make it a whole number? So I can times it by 10, which would make it 5. Now if I times that number by 10, I've got to do the same thing to the other number. So I need to times 7 by 10 as well, which is 70. So I can do 70 divided by 5 and get the same answer as if I did 7 divided by 0.5. So 70 divided by 5, we use a bus stop method. 5 into 7 goes once with 2 remainder. 5 into 20 goes 4 times exactly. So my answer is 14. I don't need to then divide by 10 at the end. My answer is just 14. Here's a question for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to see what you should have done, press play. So here we want to do 3 divided by 0.04. So I need to think, what can I times 0.04 by to make it a whole number? Well, I can times it by 100, because that would make it 4. So if I times that number by 100, I've got to do the same to the first number. So 3 times 100 is 300. So I need to do 300 divided by 4. For that, I use the bus stop method. 4 into 3 doesn't go, so I carry the 3. 4 into 30 goes 7 times with 2 remainder. And 4 into 20 goes 5 times exactly. So my answer is 75. Here's another example. This time I want to do 0.39 divided by 0.2. So again, I look at the number that I'm dividing by, which is 0.2, and I need to think, what can I times it by to make it a whole number? So I need to times it by 10, and that would make it 2. So if I times that number by 10, I've got to do the same thing to the first number. So that would make it 3.9. So I need to do 3.9 divided by 2. So I use a bus stop method with 2 on the outside. 2 into 3 goes once, so I need to put a decimal point down and carry the 1 remainder. 2 into 19 goes 9 times, but again with 1 remainder, so I need to put a 0 down and carry the 1. 2 into 10 goes 5 times exactly. So my answer is 1.95. It doesn't matter that the first number is a decimal as long as the second number is a whole number. Here's a question for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to see what you should have done, press play. So in this question, I want to do 5.2 divided by 0.04. So I times the second number by 100 to make it 4, which means I've got to times the first number by 100 as well, and that would make it 520. So I do 520 divided by 4. So I use a bus stop method. 4 into 5 goes once with 1 remainder. 4 into 12 goes 3 times exactly, and 4 into 0 goes 0 times. So my answer is 130. Here are some questions for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to mark your work, press play. Here are your answers. So there's your green answers. There's your amber answers. There's your red answers. And there's your purple answers. And now we've completed success criteria 3. So now we can move on to number 4, and this is to apply to problem solving questions. So Jack has some driving lessons, and here is some information about the cost of a lesson. The total cost of his lessons is £335. So we want to work out how many lessons Jack has. Well, the first 2 lessons are £17.50 each. So we can take the first 2 lessons of £335, which is £300. Then all other lessons are £20. So we see how many 20s go into 300. So we do 300 divided by 20, which is 15. So he has 15 lessons at £20 each, and remember the first 2 lessons were £17.50. So altogether he has 17 lessons. Here's another example. Alex is saving up for a new bike which costs £123. She saves £7 a week to pay for it. After how many full weeks will she be able to afford the bike? So for this question, if we highlight the key information to help us out, we do 123 divided by 7 to work out how many weeks. 7 goes into 1 0 times, so we carry the 1. 7 goes into 12 once with 5 remainder, and 7 goes into 53 7 times but with a remainder of 4. 7 goes into 40 5 times with 5 remainder. 7 goes into 50 7 times with 1 remainder, and 7 goes into 10 once, and this will keep going on. But if we have a look at the question, we see how many full weeks will she be able to afford the bike. So it's 17 and then a little bit extra, so that's 18 full weeks. So Alex can afford the bike after she has saved for 18 full weeks. Here are 4 questions for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to see what you should have done, press play. Here are your answers. So for the green question, highlight our key information, and we need to do 550 divided by 8. 8 goes into 5 0 times, so we carry the 5. 8 goes into 55 6 times, with 7 remainder. 8 goes into 70 8 times, with a remainder of 6. 8 goes into 60 7 times, with a remainder of 4. And 8 goes into 40 5 times exactly. So she should save £68.75 each month. For the amber question, we need to do 40 into 1,240. Remember to change the £12.40 into pence. 40 goes into 1 0 times, so we carry the 1. 40 goes into 12 0 times, so we carry the 12. 40 goes into 124 3 times with 4 remainder. And 40 goes into 40 1 time exactly. So our answer is he can buy 31 chocolate bars. For the red question, if we highlight the key information first, we can work out the total weight of the 45 parcels, so that's 1,080 kilos. The van can carry a maximum of 150 kilos, so we do 1,080 divided by 150, so he needs to make 7.2 trips, but he can't make 7.2 trips, so he's going to need to make 8 trips in total. For the purple question, we highlight our key information. Now the total cost was £46.80. If we take off the cost for the first day, that's £32.50 left, and it costs £2.50 for each subsequent day. So we need to divide £32.50 by £2.50. If we times £2.50 by 10, which is 25, and do the same thing to £32.50, which will be 325. Then we do 325 divided by 25. £25 goes into 3 0 times, so we carry the 3. 25 goes into 32 once, with 7 remainder. 25 goes into 75 3 times exactly. So we've got a Thursday plus 13 additional days. So Matthew hired the bike for 14 days. And now we've completed success criteria 4. So now that we've completed the last objective, it's time to end the video. Hope you enjoyed it and hope you found it useful. Make sure to like and subscribe and be sure to check out the videos on the rest of the channel. I'll see you next time. See ya.